about if you would like to see Ray Kelly, the police commissioner, to replace you. And second, you've been following what is happening in Washington with the debt limit. And the bunch of people, candidate for president, to me, they sound like nincompoop.
I would never call anybody a nincompoop. Number one, there's a lot of people that make good...
Can I finish?
Sure.
Stu,
you were right.
If the nation called upon you to be the savior, to bring the nation to financial integrity.
Question with them outside to get it.
Financial integrity, will you run for president?
I will not run for president. The nation's not going to call on me, and I don't know who's going to be whether President Obama will get reelected. He's got to work hard to do that, or anybody else is going to beat him. They're going to have to work hard to do that. I'm sure there will be other candidates that enter the field, and I don't know enough about all of those there now to know how good or bad, and you never know. Ray Kelly is one of the most competent people in our administration. He's done a spectacular job of bringing down crime. To the best of my knowledge, he has no interest in being mayor, but you'll have to ask him whether he does or not. Yes?
On the debt ceiling issue, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, yes, I forgot the debt ceiling.
And yeah, Washington is not close to an agreement.
Well, I don't know that. There's a lot of this role-playing and characterization and brinksmanship, and I don't know where they really stand.
By the credit rating agencies, they are threatening with downgrading the grade for the country. Do you think that the president at this point should invoke the 14th Amendment and just sign an executive order to raise the debt?
I don't know that legally he can do that. Look, number one, the damage to this country is being done right now with this discussion. The fact that we can have an argument about whether we should pay our debts, the fact that government can't come together and pass laws that this country needs passed, and not just about fiscal policy, is very worrisome. People around the world, our enemies must be looking at us with glee, our friends with shock. And the damage, even they passed the bill tonight to balance the budget and raise the debt ceiling. It's not going to solve the problem, and it's not going to take away the thought that this government is not functioning in Washington. Forget about which end of Pennsylvania Avenue and which side of the aisle. It's everybody. It's just not functioning.
So the damage has already been done?
The damage is constantly being done. Would you have confidence in this country after you read the newspapers? You got to have, you still have some, but you got to have less every day. And that's the great damage, yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, do you think there should be a policy enacted barring elected officials from taking free trips?
I think there's got to be some standards because it's too obvious a ways to curry favor. The potential conflict is great, and it's not that much different from making donations to campaigns and then putting legislation in front of the recipients and asking them to vote or regulate or something like that. It's just another ways of trying to influence. It's a little bit different if it's a trade group, I suppose, but it's a slippery slope. Once you start doing it, it's really hard to define what you should or should not be allowed to do. And it's also true that some jobs require experience overseas. Some jobs, the job is to go overseas. For example, our tourism people and business development people, they should be traveling around the world recruiting companies to come here. So in those cases are different, and each one is different. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, would you prefer, back to the debt ceiling, would you prefer to see a 6-month solution, a year solution, or do you think that there's a difference in the effect on the...
Well, I think that it makes it more political if there's another vote required next year in an election year. But you can certainly make the case that that's what democracy is all about. I think that, having said that, long-term solutions are better. What really worries me is that they will come to an agreement regardless of how long that does not address the issues. And the issue here is not just raising the debt ceiling. That's something we have to do, although I'm not sure the world will come to an end on Monday. Some things will continue. You could go over a period of time will do damage, yes, but the real damage is being done to our reputation in the minds of investors, companies who are afraid to invest in America or don't want to expand in America.
Yes, the MTA's board is meeting today. They're recommending borrowing up to $7 billion to meet their obligations.